Book lover, I'm Leslie Murray. So I want to talk about books, but I also want to I want to do like a deep dive about like things in the books that are on the edges, right? It's not like the center focus, but it's on the edges. And if it doesn't exist in the book doesn't feel like really whole, right? And it doesn't feel like, oh my God, that was a good book. And when we take those things in the edges and we kind of nerd out on it and bring it to the center, it gives us like a full literary experience. Like, for example, once I was teaching The Awakening by Kate Chopin, and in the book, the narrator mentions these concubines. This is in New Orleans, Louisiana in the 20s, right? And the concubines are taking care of her kids, taking care of everything, right? But these are nameless people, right? And the concubines are like mulatto women. And because the concubines exist, the character can have this awakening. She can be like, oh my God, I want to be liberated and free, and my husband is making my life miserable, right? She can have this because she doesn't have a lot of work to do. She can just exist, right? And the concubines are doing all these things. And so when I was teaching, my students, we're rereading over that path, that edge, to really talk about this narrator. But I was like, no, let's take this thing on the edge and bring it to the center, right? And let's unpack it. And the only reason this woman can have this realization, awakening, right, is because of like the concubines. They're like taking care of everything, right? And so like if we push that further to the margins, we're not going to understand the entirety of the novel. And if we push it to the margin, we're not going to understand like how this book, even though it didn't want to talk about race, right, it was talking about race by including these characters in it, right? Like this woman is having an awakening in period when people are like basically enslaved, right? So like when we bring things into the edges, we understand the novel in its entirety, we understand the writer, and we understand like the fullness of it. And I think the edges like gives us a fullness, right? Gives us like a deeper imagination and a deeper world and more complexity, right? And sometimes these things are said or unsaid. And the unsaid part in this book is like talking about like, you know, the concubines, right? This white woman is able to be awakening through the labor of Black and brown bodies. So I want us to think about like when we're reading, what are on the edges of this book that we want to center and we want to do a deep dive in so we can understand the full layer and complexity of the novel. Because the edges really matters. People on the margin really matters, right? Just simply, if we think about people who are marginalized in the United States, we can understand so much. Why are they marginalized? How did they get marginalized, right? And it really understands how does politics, environment, culture marginalize them to bring them to the center. And I think we get to understand ourselves more when we think about things on the edges, when we think about the things in the stories on the edges, the people on the edges, right? And by centering it, we understand ourselves as well. Have a good reading day and keep on reading.